Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just in incredible amounts of pain. But if you don't know who I am, my name's Shook. I make videos for NBA. You can find my posts here. My username is Shook right here. Post updates with all the news that comes out. You can talk strategy here. You can ask me questions. I'll respond to you, stuff like that. So check that out. If you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Twitter at Tory Langley1992. So what do I do to deserve this? What do I do to deserve this pain? The Oklahoma City Thunder coach, Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark! You are the worst coach in the fucking league. I have never seen anything more disgusting than what you did tonight with your rotation. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. You need to be fired. I mean, good God. Hire like Brett Brown or something. Like, get Brett Brown on the Thunder roster. At least Brett Brown knows how to play with young up and coming talent like he did with the Sixers. Like, get Brett Brown on the Oklahoma City Thunder roster. Get fucking Mark out of there. Get him far, far away from this Thunder team. Or you know what? Hire like, I don't know. Let's get who should be hired for the Oklahoma City Thunder? Who would be a good coach for the Thunder? I mean, you know, how about we take, we'll take Chris Paul from Phoenix. We'll tell him he's done for his life, and we'll put him on the Oklahoma City Thunder as the head coach of the team. We'll just cut his career short. Unfortunately, you don't get a ring, Chris Paul. We need you as the Thunder coach. We know you'll do better than Mark. Just absolutely unreal what I saw from tonight. You want to know what the Thunder guys finished with minutes-wise in a competitive game? Competitive game. 6-point game. Josh Giddey, 19 minutes. Picked up 3 fouls in the first, but just didn't play in the second half. Lou Dort, 21 minutes. No foul trouble. Jalen Williams, 17 minutes. Isaiah Joe, 22 minutes. Mark, go to the moon. Get out of the NBA right now. Oh my God. Like, you can play Giddey, you can play Dort, and you can still lose. You can still lose. It's not like your team is good with SGA out. You can still play those guys, you can still tank, and you can still develop them. You can still do it. Unfucking believable. Just this blows my mind. But as you can see, I went with Giddey, Beal, THT, Vandy, Gafford, Dunn, Dort, Dame. The core that I had for today was THT. He was fine, reach value. Vanderbilt, he was fine, reach value. Chris Dunn, more than value. And Lou Dort, who just busted. And then rounded out my lineup with fucking Golden State triple teaming Damian Lillard. Just unbelievable. Gafford, he was a smash. Beal, he was a smash. And then Giddey. Yep. But hopefully you guys listened to me with the Nets that I was extremely high on for GPPs. I said it in my by the way, Discord link will be down below. I make private videos, player pools for cash, GPPs, stuff like that. In my private video, I was saying how much I really like the Brooklyn Nets for GPPs today, and they all absolutely smashed. Dinwiddie smash. Bridges smash. Claxton was going to smash. He still did well. Cameron Johnson smashed. So, yeah, if you played the Nets today, you probably did very, very well. So, enough bitching from me. I just had to get that out of my system because Mark is the worst coach in the NBA. He has surpassed Steve Kerr. He has surpassed who else? Greg Popovich. He's at the top of my list right now. Just unbelievable. All right, this slate's so bad. It's just so bad. I really don't like it, but we're gonna get this one quick out of the way, done. So we have Phoenix, Charlotte, Kevin Durant going to be on this team. I assume he'll be on a limit of some sort, coming back from an injury as well and getting traded and not playing with this team. So he's going to be unplayable for me DFS wise. That also hurts Booker, also hurts Ayton, also hurts Chris Paul. So I can't get to any of these guys, even though it's a good matchup. Akoji overpriced now with KD in. Campaign can't get to him. So Phoenix basically just a cross off for me. On to Charlotte. So we have no LaMelo. We have PJ Washington doubtful. So I think the guards look pretty good here. I think Rozier, Dennis Smith Jr. both look like pretty good plays to me. Not the best matchup, but Dennis Smith Jr. is too cheap at 5.1K. Really good point per minute guy. It's probably going to start the points. Going to have the ball in his hands a decent amount. He looks really good to me. I think Terry Rozier is a good play at 7.2K. I will say this though, if he's popular, I think he makes for a good fade in GPPs because we've seen this year without LaMelo Ball in this lineup, he has struggled quite a bit. So going to be an ownership thing for me with Terry Rozier, but as a first look, he does look pretty good to me. Kelly Oubre, I don't think is playing enough minutes for me to warrant this price tag. I think I'd much rather go to Gordon Hayward, who's found his stride of late. Think he's a relatively safe play in the mid range, but I want to leave late. I want to leave a lot of room for late news in this game because there's some pretty important late news stuff in that Portland game. Mark Williams, I think it's a fair play at 6.3K. Probably plays around 30 minutes. Guy that can stuff the stat sheet. Good point per minute guy. Um, Probably get you a double double. No issue if you want to go there. I think that's solid. And then we already mentioned Dennis Smith Jr., who I think is a pretty good play. Nick Richards will get the backup 5. If you think Mark gets into foul trouble, he could get extended and break the slate, but probably plays around 15 to 20 minutes regardless. Good point per minute guy. I think it's doable with not a lot of value on the slate right now. Good matchup here for the Bulls. I think Vooch, Levine, DeRozan all look good. I think they're all contrarian plays. DeRozan definitely being my favorite of the bunch, just because he's the cheapest. It's always a price thing with these three, but they all look good to me in a good matchup. Patrick, no. We have Beverly and what's his name? Caruso starting together. If they both continue to start and play mid-20s minutes, they're both playable. Kobe, Io, they'll kind of split the backup point guard duties. Don't really have too much interest in either. Would much rather play like Caruso or Beverly. Andre Drummond, been continuing to get the backup 5. Fine value play, but once again, there's going to be center plays possibly opening up in this late game that I'm personally going to definitely be waiting for. On Detroit, so it's okay matchup. We do have Bojan back. We have Ivy back. We have Stewart, Duran both out. Livers, I don't expect to play. So Bojan always has a ceiling if he's hitting his shots, but does have a low floor when he's not. Always a fine GPP play for me. Not someone I'm always excited about rostering, but does have a ceiling. I think the guards are really what I want to look to here. So I think they both are solid. I do prefer Killian to Jaden Ivey just because Killian will have the ball in his hands more a lot and he'll do more of the facilitating. So I think Killian looks good at 5'3". That seems a little bit too cheap, and I like the bigs here. So I mentioned that they weren't going to they were going to stagger Bagley and Wiseman, and that was the case. They didn't really play alongside each other some. They didn't play alongside each other. I'm pretty sure at all. They might have. I'm not entirely sure, but they didn't much. Pretty positive on that. But I think they're both good plays with no Duran, no Stewart. They both should play mid-20s minutes. Both very good point per minute guys. I don't know why Wiseman also has power forward eligibility, but that's absolutely clutch. But the bigs, Hayes, all look pretty good to me. With Bojan and Ivy back, I'm not really too interested in Diallo. I think Alec Burks still probably gets some minutes. I don't know how much, but I still have some interest in him. And then the rest of like the secondary guards are out of play with those guys back. And this game's just disgusting. Two slow-paced teams, two good defensive teams. So not much here. I think this team's pretty much a full cross-off for me. But I think my two favorite players are going to be Garland and Karis LeVert. So don't know why LeVert only played 9 minutes here, but he did play. Actually, I want to check if that was in the blowout. See if he was out of the rotation that game. Should have looked at this beforehand. We'll see. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it was in the blowout. Okay, don't play LeVert. So, yeah, gonna be just Garland for me. That only guy I'm really considering on this team. Everyone else should just stay away. Boston very tough against big, so I don't like Mobley, don't like Allen. I think Mitchell's overpriced for the matchup. I think Garland's pretty safe. So Garland, the guy for Cleveland for me, and that's basically it. On to Boston. So we have Brown back. We all know what's going to happen. Tatum is going to absolutely break the slate with Brown back. don't like the matchup. Fine contrarian play. Jaylen Brown can't go there. I just don't like the matchup at all. Would much rather pay $1,000 more for Tatum. The guards, no thank you. With everyone healthy, I think they're a bit pricey now with Brogdon and White. Marcus Smart, fine option. Don't love it, don't hate it, and I'm not going to go to anyone else. On to Philly, another very unappealing game here. So Embiid, very, very tough spot. More of a contrarian option. Don't love it. James Harden, smashed this matchup last game. Fine for GPPs. Once again, don't love it. Harris, Maxey, they're fine values. Like Maxey, minutes kind of all over the place, but if he gets like over 30 minutes, he could break the slate at this price tag, but does have a very low floor. Tobias Harris had a very, very bad game last game, but I think normally he'll probably get you 25 to 30 fantasy points, which is fine at this price tag. Seems pretty safe to me. And then it's really hard to go to anyone else. Like Melton's, his minutes are all over the place. Don't know what they're doing there, so it's hard to trust that. Doc Rivers just is absolutely trolling with this rotation. I don't get it. On Miami, once again, there's just not much here in a tough matchup. Like Jimmy Butler is only playing around 30 minutes a game right now, and he's 9K. He's way overpriced. Bam Adebayo, don't play centers against Embiid. Tyler Hero had a very bad game last game. I think he might be my favorite from the main three, but I still don't like it too much. Kevin Love, no thank you, and everyone else just disgusting. So once again, we got Brooklyn on the slate. Said it last slate. I really like the Brooklyn guys if you think they ran that same rotation, and they ran that same rotation tonight, except for in the fourth quarter. I want to say they got pulled early. Is Popcorn Machine updated? I don't think it is. Pretty sure it's not, but we'll just take a look. So we saw Spencer Dinwiddie still play 35. We saw Mikal play 37, but everyone else kind of didn't play as much as the last game. But they still ran a 7-man rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they ran a 7-man rotation. I assume Duke, Sharp, Seth, kind of got the last few minutes. I haven't looked at the rotation, but if they're going to keep running this rotation, I think we need to jump on it early before everyone else does. Because if they're going to keep running this rotation, these guys are too cheap, in my opinion. It's not the best matchup, but I think we need to get on it early before the field does. And if you got on it tonight, from what I said yesterday, congrats to you. So Bridges, Dinwiddie, if they're going to play close to 40 minutes a game, I think both look good. I prefer Dinwiddie to Bridges. I really like Dinwiddie for GPPs tomorrow. Claxton, I'm not as interested in just because the matchup against Mitchell Robinson. Like, the Knicks are probably the toughest team against bigs in the league. Don't fact check me on that, but I feel like it's top up there. Definitely up there. But he has a ceiling. I don't hate it, but I really like Dinwiddie for GPPs. Cam Johnson playing huge minutes right now. Good point per minute guy that can stuff the stat sheet. I think he's a solid play at 5.3K. Dorian Finney-Smith played about 30 minutes. He's playable, but very low usage guy. If you want to take a shot on Cam Thomas, a guy that'll chuck off the bench, I don't hate you for it, but really for me, Claxton, Dinwiddie, Bridges all look very good. Cam Johnson looks very good as well. And if they're going to be low owned, man, when they run that tight rotation again, I'm going to be all over it in GPPs. I hope they're low owned because, like I said, if you got on them early tonight, you probably absolutely smashed. So that's the one thing I got right tonight, was being all over Brooklyn in the Discord and stuff like that. We had people that played a lot of Brooklyn in Discord, so that's the only thing I got right tonight, unfortunately. It's a good matchup here. The main guys, Brunson, Randall, they're going to play. It's not a good matchup. Brooklyn has very good defenders now, actually. I keep forgetting they made all those trades. But usage, it's going to be Randall. It's going to be Brunson. These two are going to play the bulk of the minutes. They're both going to play over 40 minutes a game, about 40 minutes a game. So they're pretty safe. I think they're fine options. RJ, Josh Hart, they're kind of splitting the minutes, like both playing around 25 minutes. Don't really have too much interest in either. I like Mitchell Robinson going up against Brooklyn. I think it's a pretty good spot for him. He has like 40 fantasy point upside as long as he can stay out of foul trouble. So I do like me some Mitchell Robinson for GPPs. Quickly, I think it's a bit pricey for my liking, and that's going to do it with the Knicks. And then now we start getting to some juicier games here. So Lakers, we get to run it back here. I don't think D'Lo's going to play. Yeah, he's doubtful for tomorrow. So we get to run it back. Phenomenal matchup. If you think this game stays close, I think Anthony Davis right now looks like one of the best spend-ups on the slate. I think Dennis Schroeder at 5.4K is way too cheap. He looks amazing. Shot 4 of 11, still on for 30 fantasy points. Vanderbilt, I still think, is a very good play. Going to be an ownership thing. If he's going to be chalky again, might be a fade, but I have a feeling he'll go lower owned than he should be after tonight. So still like Vandy. I think Beasley's solid. He had a poor shooting game, or he didn't do much tonight actually, but still think he's pretty solid at that price tag. Um, Another guy I was very high on in GPPs was Austin Reeves. I think I mentioned it in my Discord, and I mentioned it in another Discord. I was like, why is no one playing Austin Reeves tonight? And you might have heard people talking about Austin Reeves. Yeah. Um, I think I mentioned him like a bunch. I was like, no, why is no one mentioning Austin Reeves? And he played 27 minutes. He absolutely smashed. So I'm fine with Reeves. Going to be ownership thing. If he's going to come in like chalky, I'll gladly fade. But he's playable. You saw Lonnie Walker get 22 minutes. Another good point per minute guy. If he gets 22 minutes again, I would definitely consider him. So a lot to like with the Lakers tomorrow. So yeah. But another thing I got right today: Austin Reeves at 0% ownership. On to Oklahoma City Thunder. So I mean, what do we do here? I don't. I literally can't tell you what to do. I can't. I think the only guy that is safe from getting his minutes slashed is Jalen Williams at 6.2K, and he's actually been bringing the ball up and having the ball in his hands a lot more of late, which I think has been hurting Josh Giddey. So I do like me some Jalen Williams for GPPs, especially in this matchup against the Lakers. So I do like Jalen Williams for GPPs. If he's going to be low owned, I really like him. I mean, if you think they troll, you can't play Giddey, you can't play Dort, you can't play Joe. If you think they do that same rotation from tonight, if you think they go back to like 30-ish minutes, then yeah, Giddey, Dort, like Dort especially would look really good. Like Joe, it's just like, what do you think they're gonna do? If you think they're gonna do what they did tonight, there are some guys that I will mention. So if you think they do the same rotation from tonight and play Kenrich, Wiggins, Saric, these these kind of minutes, like if Dario Saric gets 27 minutes again, he would be in my lineup tomorrow. Like he would be one of the better value plays on the slate. But previous game, basically a DMP. It's like I don't know what to do. I'm completely puzzled with this rotation. Like if I knew Ken Williams was going to get close to 30 minutes again, I would have a lot of interest in him. If I knew Aaron Wiggins was going to play 30 minutes again, I would have some interest in him at the flat min price. Like I don't know what to do with this rotation. I really, really don't. Um, was everyone shooting the ball poorly? 4 of 10. What was Lou Dort at? Yeah, he was shooting very bad. Giddey was shooting bad. I think Jalen was the only guy not shooting well. What did Isaiah Joe shoot? He shot 3 of 5 and still got benched, though. I really don't know what to do with this, guys. Like I said, Jalen Williams is the only guy that I trust on this team. If you think, like I said, if you think they go back to a normal rotation where the main guys play over 30 minutes, they look good. If you think they do what they did tonight, then play Dario Saric because he would look amazing if they played 30 minutes again. But who the fuck knows? I really don't know. Tough spot here for Orlando. I don't like anything here, so I'm just gonna cross them off. On to Milwaukee, I don't like anything here at all either. Giannis, fine GPP play. Drew's overpriced. Portis is overpriced. Middleton's overpriced. Nothing. This game's just bad. Now we get to a game that I do like quite a bit. So John Morant, I think, looks like if he's going to be low owned tomorrow, he's probably going to be in my lineup. Houston is terrible against point guards. I posted a stat in Discord the other day where like everyone had career highs and season highs as point guards against the Houston this year. There were like 6 players. So John Morant, point guards against Houston, I think he looks good. Bane, fine. Jaren's fine. Whoever starts the 5, I think is solid, whether it's Clark, whether it's Tillman. Dylan Brooks, this guy's the most frustrating roster in the world, but he'll play over 30 minutes. He's a playable value. Not going to go to anyone else, though. On to Houston. So we have Kevin Porter Jr., I believe will be back. Yep. Kevin Porter Jr. is back. Jason Tate. Don't know, but it doesn't really matter. But once again, hard to trust the rotation here. I believe the game blew out tonight. It did. You saw Sengun still play 29 minutes in the blowout. You saw Jabari play 33. Daisha Nix started, played 26, but he'll go back to the bench. Tari Eason played 31 in a blowout. Okay. So, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. Like, Sengun's only going to be a GPP play. I don't know if Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be limited. It's foot. I really don't know. Jalen Green with Kevin Porter Jr. back takes a hit. He'll go back to the 2, loses usage. Like, they're all just tournament-only plays. Tari Eason, if you think this game blows out, he'll play huge minutes. If it blows out, he'll play probably like 28 to 30 minutes. Like, if I knew this Houston game was going to blow out tomorrow, Tari would be in my lineup. But if the game doesn't blow out, he probably only gets like low 20s minutes. Still a fine option at that price tag, though. And then KJ Jabbar with Kevin Porter Jr. back, I think are a bit overpriced. So not really anything too much on Houston, but I do like John Morant quite a bit. We'll go over the Pelicans last. So Dame's on another level right now. I have no issue paying that price for him. I think Grant's okay, but the value I think is okay. So I think Cam Reddish is a good value. He'll continue to start. I think Thibault is playable, 3.7K. No issues if you want to go there either. So Reddish, Thibault, I think are solid. I do believe Shaden Sharp had a really good game tonight. He had an okay game. But I don't think we would need to go there. Find large field tournament dart. But yeah. No Nurk, so Eubanks, Watford, they'll split the center minutes. Fine options. But let's go over the good game here. So there's a lot of news that we have to keep an eye on. Well, not a lot, but Jonas Valanciunas, Josh Richardson, they're both questionable. If they're both in, I think Ingram, CJ both look good. I think Jonas Valanciunas, if you think he plays it for 30 minutes, it's a fine option. Josh Richardson seems pretty safe if he plays. And I really wouldn't like anyone else, but this is where it gets spicy. So if those two guys are out, you're going to have some phenomenal plays here. And the bigs would look amazing. So Jackson Hayes, Willie Hernan-Gomez. These two would look like two of the better value plays on the slate. Like if Willie Hernan-Gomez starts tomorrow, he would be the best play on the slate. Wouldn't even be close. And then Jackson Hayes probably gets the backup 5. He would look really good at the flat min price. If they start Hayes, then I think Hernan-Gomez would still play with Jonas Valanciunas out of this offense and Nance out of this offense. So they would still both look amazing. And then we'll monitor who they start. Trey Murphy probably moves from the starting lineup. I don't think they would start Najee. In the past, it's always been Trey Murphy. So Trey Murphy would look really good at 4K. Herb Jones probably plays more. He would be fine. They could start Dyson, I guess. But I think it would be Trey Murphy. But yeah, if those two guys are out, Hernan-Gomez, Jackson Hayes look amazing. Trey Murphy looks amazing. And then kind of a little bit of boost to Ingram, CJ. I still think they both look good, though, for GPPs. What you can do here is you could just start with, like, Hernan-Gomez or Jackson Hayes or both, and then, like, leave some salary. And if they're both in, what you can do is you can just pivot to, like, I don't know, Drew Eubanks or Cam Reddish or, like, a 1v1 pivot right here. Look at this. This is all you can do. This is what you do tomorrow. So you put where is Willie? Put Hernan-Gomez in your lineup. Put him in util. If Jonas Valanciunas is in, take out Hernan-Gomez. Put in Matisse Thybulle. Easy as that. It's as simple as that. All you do. That's all you do tomorrow. Hope that helps you guys out. I would definitely start your lineup that way. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.